We are back. The Michigan drama was ended the last half hour when we had a projection. Bernie Sanders, you see there Hillary Clinton, the heavy plus 60% victor in Mississippi, and Donald Trump adds 2 more states to really what is an impressive national map for his campaign. We have this going on in Idaho, GOP only, GOP primary too early to call, with a quarter of the vote in, Ted Cruz 31-39 over Trump. And let us not forget, we've got Hawaii for the real insomniacs later tonight. Casey Hunt covers the Sanders campaign for us. And I'm hoping Casey can explain a visual that happened about an hour ago when Bernie Sanders was on his way into an event. And I'm presuming it was press inquiries that caused him to stop and give a short statement. What else has he done tonight, Casey?
Hey, Brian. Well, for those of you who have covered campaigns before, you will recognize the scene behind me, which is the Sanders campaign at the hotel bar, watching cable networks and cheering because Michigan was just called for him. I had the chance to speak with Bernie Sanders about what had gone on in Michigan right before that call was made. Take a listen to what he had to say, keeping in mind this did happen before we officially knew this projection that he'd won Michigan.
I want to thank the people of Michigan. Tonight is a fantastic night. The polls had us down by 25 points a week ago, and it looks like we'll either win or it'll be very, very close tonight. And I think the issues that we focused on are the issues that are concerned to the working families of Michigan, and that is the fact that ordinary people in Michigan around this country are working longer hours for lower wages, and they're tired of seeing almost all new income and wealth go into the top 1%. If there's anybody in this country who knows how disastrous these trade agreements have been, NAFTA and permanent normal trade relations with China, it is the people of Michigan, where they have lost tens and tens of thousands of jobs as companies shut down in America and went to Mexico and went to China. So tonight, I think the people of Michigan stood up to the pundits, they stood up to the establishment, they stood up to the pollsters, and they said that they want an economy that works for all of us and not just the people on top. Thank you very much.
Should the Senate vote on money for Flint, Senator?
Of course. Flint is a disaster, and if the local government doesn't have the resources, if the state government doesn't have the willingness, federal government has got to come in. We will not continue to see children in America being poisoned. Thank you very much.
Brian, this win in Michigan for Bernie Sanders really changes the narrative pretty significantly for him, although he's still saying the same thing he's always said, which is that he's going to take this all the way to the convention, but it gives them some more hope for March 15 states, Illinois, Ohio, and they're already talking about the New York primary, which isn't until April. So a pretty long slog ahead with a lot of money from a lot of these small donors, Brian.
And yeah, we are talking about a well-financed campaign, and there is campaign veteran Ted Van Dyke enjoying a beverage behind you. Casey Hunt from the bar, thank you so much.
I was just going to say, I'm so glad that Casey said if you've covered a campaign, you'll know what this is. I was thinking, God, every time I've ever been on the campaign, that's what happens at this time of night. Yep. You know, one of the things that's going to be really interesting to watch here, obviously this Michigan win is a very, very big win for Bernie Sanders. It would have been a big loss if he'd lost, but it's a bigger win because he won it there, especially given the polling going into it. And there's all sorts of reasons why the polling might have been wrong. All the polling said that Hillary Clinton was going to win. But with Bernie Sanders winning here, especially given the states that are going to be voting 1 week from tonight, which is a much bigger delegate haul and states that are going to have a big impact in terms of the overall delegate count. It'll be interesting to see if this Michigan victory tonight for Bernie Sanders translates into another mega bomb of fundraising. When he has had big nights, big high-profile nights on the campaign trail thus far, his network of supporters, millions of supporters nationwide, has responded like they have to no other candidate in the country in terms of massive amounts of money contributed through small dollar donations. And the important thing about that for him and his sustainability is because people are not maxing out and giving him $2,700. People are giving him 20, 30, 40 bucks at a time. He can keep going back and tapping them over and over and over again to give that same size donation again, and he can keep churning out these huge numbers.
We are going to take a break. We will continue. When we come back, we'll talk to Chris Matthews, among others.